We're live, Gabe.
Okay. Bear with me for 1 second here. I just gotta pull up our agenda. We'll call the meeting to order. It's 6:24. We stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
To the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Flossie? Flossie.
Roll call, please.
Somebody became unmuted.
Flossie?
Shelley. Crystal, can you do a roll call?
Been trying. Flossie?
Here?
Derlin?
Here.
Fitzgerald?
Here.
Hannah?
Here.
Jordan?
Here.
King? Not here. McCusker here. Nolan?
Here.
Stockdale?
Here.
8 present.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from the regular meeting of June 21st?
So move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions on the minutes? All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. We'll move over to reports. Do we have a student report?
We do not. We do not.
All right, we'll move over to administrative reports. If you want to kick us off, that'd be great.
I just have a comment. I wanted to thank the Eaglesmere, the Muncie Valley, and the Laporte Fire Company. They came up with their pumpers and their ladder truck yesterday and sprayed the soccer field with about 10,000 gallons, 12,000 as part of a training, but it really did us a favor. After we had that rain and it, it kind of softened the ground up, then they put that water down. So we're able to get 2 services. They were able to get training, and we were able to get our fields watered. So I appreciate them coming up and doing that.
I think Dushore is here too. I think Dushore is here.
Okay, and Dushore as well.
I don't want to hear my
I
guys crying.
I just want to acknowledge an opportunity that our students had recently, and I actually had the opportunity to travel with them. We had 4 students from the high school level that traveled to the National Fbla competition in Chicago, June 28th through July 3rd. There were over 12,000 students competing there, I believe from 48 states and Canada. There may have been some other countries present. I know they had been in the past, but they did not receive any awards, so I know there were some individuals from Canada. But we had a group of 3 students. They were 9th graders, and from what I understand, they're the first 9th graders that qualified to go to the National Fbla competition, and they competed in event planning. We also had a senior who competed in help desk. The senior was Alice Polkrack, and the 9th graders were Jenna Eberlin, Lila Fries, and Marty Ziegler. And so the first day, full day that we're there, they need to take a test. The particular events they were part of, they had to take a test. And once they take the test, they chose the top 15 students in that category, and they had to come back 2 days later to do a presentation. So they were given a scenario. They had, I think the help desk had 7 minutes to prepare. The event planning group had 20 minutes to prepare the presentation for their particular scenario. So it is not something they knew ahead of time. They got it, had the designated time allotted to prepare, and then they went in and presented live to judges that were there. So we were super excited. The second day, full day we were there, we found out that they had all qualified for the finals. So they were all in the top 15 in the nation. They went and did their presentations on Friday. We did have to adjust our sightseeing a little bit because we weren't sure that was going to happen. And then Saturday at the awards ceremony, they announce the top 10, but in a random order to come up on stage. And then they place them from 10th through 1st. The group of 9th graders placed 4th nationally, which is outstanding. Talking to Mrs. Amer, the actual advisor for the club, that is the highest that she could remember that students placed, which is fantastic for the first 9th graders to have qualified. And the senior, Alice Polkrack, placed 8th. So it was really awesome that all of our students that participated all made it up on stage and placed in the top 10 in the nation. Each state could send their top 4. So, there's like a possibility of 200 groups or individuals in each category. So that's absolutely excellent. I am so excited for them. They were excited at first. They're like, we made it here. That's all that really matters. But then once they started competing, they were really excited. And it's amazing to see 12,000 people and kids in a room with their advisors and cheered the people, all the kids from Sullivan County cheered for each other, or from Sullivan County, from Pennsylvania, cheered for each other and supported each other. So that was outstanding. And what we would like to do, working with some community members, is on Wednesday, July 27th, is the Laporte Fireman's Parade. What we have set up for them is for those 4 young ladies to participate in the parade and ride on a fire truck. So if you would like to come out and congratulate them, they will be in the parade July 27th, and the parade starts at 6:45. We also I've reached out to staff members to sit in the dunk tank that night as well. So I will be in the dunk tank as well as some other staff members. So if the community would like to come out and, dunk the teachers or the administrators, those that will be participating, come out and do that.
Where do those funds go? To the fire company?
They go to the fire company. Yep.
Awesome. Good job, girls.
One last thing, I got this information last week. 2 teachers had worked on a mini grant. It's the 2022 Innovation Mini Grant to help improve cyber education through our school. And Aaron Schultz and Deb Linder worked on the grant to help improve our Griffin Cyber Academy. And we were awarded one of 2 $2,000 grants as well to help with that program. And we have already been working on improving our Griffin Cyber Academy through that. Thank you.
Wow, good stuff.
Yes.
I'm showing up to the dunk tank. Who do we get to try to dunk? Is Doug, are you sitting?
He's
I heard the president of the board
smiling.
is.
We haven't had that discussion
Yeah.
yet.
What, the board president?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
That's what I was thinking. The board president should be there as
If
well.
I'm in town, I'll sit it.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool. I'm glad you guys are doing something for the team, because we were gonna bring it up. I think it's awesome. I know it's hard to get the exact same scenario that goes along with all the sports and extracurricular activities. I know there was a group of parents that were trying to get some things around it, and there was different flight patterns and different schedules. So it's cool that we're actually gonna do something to recognize them at the parade. If Lynn, if you don't have anything else, I'll go to Miss Kaler. I'm not sure if she's in the room, but I'm Just going through the.
I do not, and she is here.
I am here. I have nothing in addition to my written board report, but I did want to point out, I know Doug had included it in the packet for the board. We received a card from a teacher in New York. Her and her family were here visiting Ricketts Glen State Park. They were in the county vacationing, and they picked up the Sullivan Review. And they were reading our student and the elementary pieces that were entitled My Favorite Place in Sullivan County. And she just said how she was very impressed. She's a middle school teacher. She was impressed with the quality, voice, organization, and description of all your favorite places. And it inspired her and her family to come back and visit the county some more. So I thought that was just really neat that someone would take the time to acknowledge our students' work. So that is all.
Awesome. Thanks for that feedback. Mr. McMahon?
Yeah, just a couple of things. Doug already touched on it. That was one thing I was going to talk about, and he beat me to it. The soccer field. Also today, the soccer field, I aerated that today. And I do apologize, my board report didn't make it to you guys before tonight. It was in your packets, I got delayed, missed the cutoff, so it is in your packets, but I was able to do that today. So going forward, we'll hopefully get the rest of the fields done before it gets too dry again. Mr. Fitzgerald, DJ Fitzgerald, is supposed to start the baseball field project next week, Tuesday or Wednesday. Just an update on that. Thank you.
And we have with us this evening Ryan Solomon, the new athletic director. Do you have any points to bring up?
I don't think I have any questions. You and I talked about the fertilization and the weed control for all of our fields. I talked to True Green. We got a quote on that for them to come up. Since it's so dry, he said it wouldn't really do a lot of good to do anything to our fields right now. So he has our school district on call. Once we get a little bit more moisture in the ground, he's going to come up and spray for that. So moving forward, we have to post and let everybody know that's going to be done. But once we get that around and we get that scheduled, everybody will know. That's pretty much all I have. I'm excited. This is a great opportunity for myself, and I got to meet a lot of the coaches, and I wanted to meet a lot of you guys. I have met a lot of you guys already. If you need anything of me, I just, don't feel free to reach out. And I know a lot of you have extended that as well to me, and I appreciate that, as well as every staff member is welcomed me in with open arms, and I appreciate that. I'm ready, to hit the ground running and get started.
Awesome.
Welcome.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Solomon. Sorry, I can't quite get the full view of the auditorium being virtual, so I didn't realize you were there. So thanks for jumping in, and congrats on the new position.
Appreciate it.
Mr. Mavis, you have anything?
Yeah, I have an update on summer projects. We are getting equipment in this summer, so the supply chain is a little better than it was last year. It still remains hit or miss. If something's on the shelves, it's showing up. But I also have some things that are still ordered, back ordered for months. So, but that leads me to probably the more important comment in addition to my written report. There's a whole group of our staff members that are coming in and helping with summer projects this year. I think I've had 14 different staff members show up and help with various projects, and I'm just super appreciative of their time, especially in the summer, and we're getting a lot done with them, so I'd like to thank them. That's all from me.
Awesome. All right, thanks for the update. Dr. Zawadi?
I don't have anything especially interesting to share tonight, but I've been enjoying everyone else's reports, so that's been good, but I don't have anything to add tonight.
All right. Mr. Linder?
I don't believe I have anything to add. It's just been a very busy summer. I'm glad to see all the things that we've done. I mean, you'll probably reflected in Chris's report. You'll see a lot of the work that's been done. We've got paint crews moving around. We've got new lights in the elementary or the high school cafeteria. Elementary cafeteria has been repainted. We just have the chance for a lot of those types of projects this year. So it's going to look different for kids coming in. It's just we're trying to make it look different. We're trying to have everything look cleaned up and as new as we can, and just have everyone be excited for returning to school. So.
All right, great. Is there any public input?
There's no one present in the auditorium, and Lance is checking online. There's no online public input.
Okay. Just for information's sake, we did have a short executive session prior to the meeting that did run over a bit to talk about some personnel matters. If no questions on that, we'll move into finance with Hal.
Okay. Finance. A, administration recommends acceptance of the following report. The treasurer's report number 12, the cafeteria fund for June, the building fund for June, the capital project fund for June, and SCES activity fund end of year report, and I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, B, the administration recommends approval of the following check registers and the June budget summary for a total of $1,021,543.26, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and second. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried.
Item C, administration recommends approval of the following payments to MHE for engineering and construction services in the auditorium renovation, a total of $2,728.86, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions on that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. I'm just throwing this out there, Hal. I don't know if we want to have Audrey speak now.
Yeah, let's allow Audrey. We provided information in your folders. You have the full resolution, and then you have additional documentation that she had the summary of the bids, and then her recommendation for the bids. Audrey, are you available?
I am available. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Great. I'll be brief. I know I talked a lot with everybody last month. If there's any questions, please let me know. The packet that you have, the blue and gray block on the cover, you want to turn to page 1. Page 1 reflects our results and a wide range of banks that we sent proposals. Regional, local, we tried to get a little bit of everyone, and we got 3 bids back, which everyone knows the interest rates and market is a little hectic these days, so I was glad that we got 3 bids, and they are in the table on page 1. You see the 3 banks that bid. We had Citizens in Northern, First Commonwealth, and Muncie Bank and Trust. The second column is the interest rates that they quote The third column is their fees, and then in important part, the full debt payment. So I'll go across the row for citizens in Northern. You can see they quoted 4.1% for full term and a fee of $2,500, and then the total principal and interest that you would pay back based on that interest rate and fee. First Commonwealth, 4 1/4 was a $5,000 fee, and the lowest cost of the 3 bids was Muncie Bank and Trust, and they have an interest rate range of 3.75 to 4.25. So their bid, which you'll see in more detail on a future page, was 0.75 for 5 years and 4 1/4 for the balance. And they paid all bank fees on their proposal. So if you look at the total debt service payments, you can see that's the lowest cost option. Now, you're not obligated to take the lowest cost option, you're not obligated to take any of these options. This is what's available to you to choose from this evening if you are ready to move ahead with your projects and lock in these rates. Before I go into the other pages, does that all make sense? Is there any questions about what you see here?
You do have a note under Muncie Bank of variable. Could you explain that?
Sure. They quoted the first 5 years at 3.75, and next 5 years, I'm going to tell you what page to turn to.
5.
Okay, nope.
Page 5.
That's where I thought we were going.
It's a fixed rate, it's variable from year to year, where the other 2 proposals are the same rate for the full term. If you turn to page 5, this is part of their bid form, you see they have 3.75, 2023 through 2027, and then it jumps, the interest rate changes to 4% through 2032 and 4 1/4 through 2037. That's what that means. It's not a variable in that it can change, it's just variable year over year. I know that's confusing, I'm glad that was brought up.
Well, thank you.
Is there anything? All right, well, page 2 is, I just wanted the board to be able to see the actual bid forms for bid. So page 2 is the bid from Kevin Doherty. This is all the information that was on the summary page. I just wanted you to see the actual bids. Page 3 is the bid from Brian for First Commonwealth, and for Kevin from Muncie Bank and Trust, he submitted the bid form as well as page 5, the table behind it, breaking out, because at different interest rates in different years, he also provided the table that shows that. And turn to page 7, I look at something here, and what would the lowest cost option look like? So if you look at page 7, the column that says net 2022, those would be the annual principal and interest payments for the term based on Muncie Bank's bid. That was the lowest cost, I'm not obligated to take that, but I wanted to show you that option. And then the total net debt on the right is all of your outstanding debt after bank con reimbursement if you accepted this hypothetical bid from Muncie. And you'll see I kept it between $70,000 and $375,000 like we talked about the board's decision last month through 2035, and then it starts dropping off at last year, 2036. After 2036, the payments you have left is the bond issue from 2020 that's already in place. So those last 4 years, those payments are already in place. And this is in that range of total payments that you were looking for. What do you think about that? I hear papers, but I don't hear it by some.
What was their reasoning for waiving the bank fees? Is that just they're just basically going after it, or?
And my thing from speaking to superintendent is that you do not have an existing relationship with Muncie Bank for deposits or any other reason. So perhaps that's a motivation for them to try to have business with you.
Okay.
Certainly that's, you know, the $5,000 that you saw that's typical. So they're just taking that cost and absorbing it to try to work with you. And I don't care why, if they're gonna give 0 there, I like 0.
Yeah, I just
don't
didn't
care
know.
why, right? It's like,
Right.
it's just, I think,
That's the motion that they sent.
and the gentleman that I worked with before, I have a little school with him to, so I know him, and they are, you know, in this.
Okay.
If there's not any other questions about that packet, I'll give a 30-second overview on what the recommendation speaks to, if you'd like.
Sure.
So the motion on your agenda is the action necessary if you want to accept the proposal. The one vote. Everything is spelled out in the resolution for attorney, your bond counsel prepared that has to happen. It authorizes your superintendent, president, board secretary, sign the documents that are necessary, lock in the loan, and get to settlement, and also sign settlement stuff. Everything in there that has to happen. So it does only require this action from the board. And if you do vote to accept that tonight, this will be locked in. It's a commitment, and the rates will not change.
Okay. Do we have to be, John, do we have to be specific to, do we have to reword the motion to be specific to our choice in regards to the options in the bidding?
You mean which one you're taking? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
But we have the resolution here, which has been, it should say, it has to say inherent.
Yeah, because
If
it's
the resolution specified by
Yes.
Tumtanic, since they were the lowest cost provider, but should you want to accept one of the other proposals, we can strike that and change it before you approve it.
So the resolution usually reflects.
Yeah, so Gabe, the resolution reflects the company that you're selecting. So it's set forth in that resolution, in the you can't see me, in the document, the bond document itself, not the motion. So we're fine with the way the motion's written.
Sorry, I'm pulling
It's
that up now.
reflective.
It does reflect Muncie Bank, right?
correct, yeah.
Yes, page 6 in the note, page 6 of the resolution where it says promises made to Muncie Bank and track. But again, we can strike that and change it if you wish to make a change.
No, I just was making sure, because I have it up now. I just was struggling to get that document pulled up.
I think the first time it mentions it is on,
Go ahead.
well, I'm looking at page 3.
Yeah, that's where it's at.
Okay. I guess, does anybody else have any more questions? I don't see any reason why we would not. It looks like Muncie really went after it, both with their interest rate and their waiving of the fees.
And that would be a roll call.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, go for it, Hal.
Okay. Item D, I have a motion that the Board of School Directors approve the resolution authorizing the incurrence of non-electoral debt through the issuance of a tax-exempt note, which note shall provide the funds to, 1, finance capital costs of various capital projects of the school district, and 2, paying the costs and expenses of issuing the note and to accept a proposal for the purchase of the note and approve all actions necessary to accomplish the foregoing. And I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Anyone have any questions? Roll call, please.
Blasi,
Yes?
Derlin,
Yes.
Fitzgerald,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
Jordan,
Yes.
King not present, McCusker, yes, Nolan,
Yes.
Stockton.
Yes.
8 yeses.
Awesome. It's a good move forward.
And that is the end of finance.
Thank you, Audrey.
Yeah, Audrey, I'm guessing unless you are super bored and want to listen to the rest of our meeting, I guess you could drop.
I will drop off. I have another meeting here in 5 minutes, so I appreciate the flexibility to drop off, and I'll be in touch. Thank you, everybody.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, currently we have nothing for athletics and health for the month. We'll move to buildings and grounds.
Yeah, we have some craft. Yep, we do. I got
Sorry.
it.
Yeah, we do. Sorry.
That's okay. So athletics and health, item A, the administration and the athletic and health committee recommends the approval to hire Kirk Hallebuck as the assistant varsity girls soccer coach, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried.
And Gabe, that is all we have for athletics and health for this evening.
All right, thank you. Sorry about that. Buildings and grounds.
Item A, information, use of school facilities have been received for 2022, 2023 Sullivan County Elementary School programs. Item B, information, the Laporte Borough Municipality Water System provided annual drinking water quality report for 2021. And that's it.
All right, thank you, Joe. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, if nothing else, we'll move to curriculum and student activities.
Thank you. Item A, information, the Sullivan County Elementary School and Sullivan County High School student handbooks for the 2022-23 school year are provided for review. I have a question. Do we vote on those at some point? I thought I remember we did last year.
Yeah, in August, but I wanted the board to have a month to look through them. And since Ryan started at the beginning of July, we wanted him to have the opportunity to go through and make the changes that he needed. So he'll be providing that as soon as he's finished with that. And you'll also notice in policy, when we were doing the handbooks, it actually required a policy change. So now our policy matches both handbooks. So that's later on in policy. So yeah, you have a month to review that before the. And it's fortunate that this year's board meeting actually takes place prior to even the start of an in-service day. So, you know.
Yeah, definitely encourage everyone to give those a read. I know they're long, but they're what, you know, as y'all know, they're what we send home to families, and just, it's what we communicate. And so if you have any questions about things, now is the time, folks. Any questions about that before we move on?
No, it's actually nice to have them in advance.
Yeah, thank you. Really appreciate that. All right, item B, administration recommends approval to submit to PDE the district's comprehensive plan for school years 2022 to 2025, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions on the plan?
I I just want to say thank you to admin and everyone, the steering committee. This was a ton of work over the course of the year, so thank y'all for everything you did to get this together.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Great. Item C, administration recommends approval of requests from parents of students living in the Benton area of Sullivan County to attend the Benton School District, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Item D, administration recommends approval to accept students living within the Tumtanic School District to attend the Sullivan County School District on a tuition basis, and I so move.
Second. Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions?
Twice.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried.
And item E, administration recommends approval of a school physician contract with Rural Health Corporation of Northeastern Pennsylvania for the 2022-23, 23-24, and 2024-25 school years, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions?
I'm glad to have someone back in Laporte. I've also talked to them about providing workers' comp, so they'll be part of our panel list. So it's good to have them back in the county.
Yes, I was going to say I was very excited to see this on our agenda this month.
Thank you.
Yeah, this will allow us to start right up with physicals, right on schedule. So
Good deal. All right. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried.
All right, that's all for curriculum and student activities.
Thank you. We'll move to personnel.
Item A, administration recommends acceptance with letter of regret of a letter of retirement from custodial employee Barbara Cawthor, effective on August 31st, 2022, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried.
B, administration recommends acceptance with regret of a letter of resignation from paraprofessional employee Serena Nachinsky, effective August 10th, 2022, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried.
Item C, administration recommends acceptance with regret of a letter of retirement from food service employee Linda Beaver, effective August 14th, 2022, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
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 And I feel like we've seen her name a million times, but she was the woman that put in 30-some years of service with the district, so I just wanted to say thank you again to her.
Yeah, I will second that comment. It's a long time.
Okay, item D.
Just to complete it, I asked for is there anybody opposed? Just to finish it out. Motion carried.
Item D, administration recommends approval of a request for maternity leave from a professional employee, Fallon Hemberry, effective approximately August 22nd, 2022, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and second. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried.
E, administration recommends approval to hire Lance Mabus as district business manager at a salary of $97,000 prorated with the effective start date of July 20th, 2022, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Blasi,
Yes.
Derlin,
No.
Fitzgerald,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
Jordan,
Yes.
King, not present. McCusker, no. Nolan,
Yes.
Stockdale,
Yes.
6 yeses, 2 nos.
Motion carried.
Thank you, everybody.
Congratulations.
Thanks, Mr. Linder, for sending me the link to the Wilkes MBA program.
Item F, administration recommends approval to hire Miho Bardo as a 5-hour per day food service worker at a starting rate of $12.75 per hour with an effective start date of August 22nd, 2022, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Item G, administration recommends approval to hire Jay Ziegler as a technology education teacher at a starting salary of $69,571, master's step 1, with an effective starting date to be determined by release from the Warrior Run School District, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions?
For the board members who haven't seen that before, under school code, the employing school district can hold a professional employee for 60 days prior to release, and that's to give them a chance to hire a replacement. So that's what that is. They may just say, we'll just release and we get him on August 22nd, or they may hold him a few days into September until that 60 days runs out and they've finished advertising and interviewing. So that's what that means.
How do we know what happens? Do
I-
they contact us?
As soon as the board approves, then I contact that superintendent and I ask for his release.
Perfect.
Okay. Thanks for that. We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Blasi,
Yes.
Derlin,
Yes.
Fitzgerald,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
Jordan,
Yes.
King not present, McCusker yes, Nolan,
Yes.
Stockdale,
Yes.
8 yeses.
Motion carried.
Item H, administration recommends approval to transfer Ellen Koshak to the position of secondary guidance counselor, maintaining her current step placement with an effective start date of July 20th, 2022, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Blasi,
Yes.
Derlin,
No.
Fitzgerald,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
Jordan,
No.
King not present, McCusker yes, Nolan,
Yes.
Stockdale,
Yes.
6 yeses, 2 nos.
Motion carried.
Item I, administration recommends approval to post and advertise for vacancies created by the prior personnel motions, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried.
J, administration recommends approval of the list of substitute workers for the 2022-2023 school year. I don't know if we have to read them or not. And I so move.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And that's all for personnel.
Policy and procedure.
I can read those if you want to.
Sure.
Item A, administration recommends acceptance of the following policies for first read. It's been a while since we've done this. Do I have to do them? We don't have to vote on these individually, right?
No, not unless someone has issue. If I hear a nay, then we can resurface it.
Okay. Policy 913, non-school organizations / groups / individuals. Policy 810.1, school bus drivers and school commercial motor vehicle drivers. Policy 810.3, school vehicle drivers, and policy 204, attendance. And I so move.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor, say aye.
Can I just offer the board a description of what those changes are? Policy 913 is advertising, non-school groups bringing things in, and we just cleaned that up a little bit, so that, would be your Boy Scouts coming in, that would be your youth basketball, all of those types of things, and how that would be posted and who would approve that. Policy 810.1 and 810.3 are brand new policies. The Fed had changed rules on drug and substance testing for drivers, and so one of those is for actually someone with a CDL, and the other is for someone who is just a vehicle driver. So that policy, those policies are broken out from our other transportation policy, but that's what's required to meet the federal requirement. And policy 204, attendance, that was to bring us in line with the state guidelines for school attendance, which is also reflected in the handbooks that you'll review. So all three are the same, our policy and the handbooks.
Doug, I was going to ask if you could give a headline what the changes were, and if they're really extensive, we can do that when we do the handbook, but
Yeah.
or the points around attendance policy changes.
Yeah, at the next committee meeting, is that what you'd like?
Yeah, I think so. I read the policy, but I
Yeah.
didn't see, I know when y'all usually do changes, it's like in a different font, and maybe I just missed it, but I couldn't really tell what had changed.
Yeah, we could give you a description of the attendance change right now, if you'd like.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Sure. So Lynn and I have been working very closely on updating our attendance policies and procedures to align with the state law, as Doug mentioned. We really kind of tightened up the process for how we are contacting families and students about their absences. We clearly defined excused versus unexcused, and again, those are the state definitions, not like our own district ones. And just the process for what we're going to do after one unexcused absence, up to 10 unexcused absences. Lynn worked super hard on creating the student attendance individual conference. That is something that we will do with our students and families when we're noticing that there's an issue with attendance prior to becoming a truancy issue. The major change was that our policy stated that there were 15 total days absent, excused, or unexcused that would kind of trigger the need for a doctor's note or medical excuse for any additional absences. However, state law is 10. So we were just aligning ours with the 10 in the handbook and in our policy. Anything you can think of to add there, Lynn?
And rewriting the letters that would be sent home to align with the state requirements, because they did not. And there was no mention of a school attendance improvement conference, which is suggested by the state.
And Lynn and I have both worked very closely with our office staff to make sure that we're running those attendance reports more frequently, that we're sending the letters, we're kind of catching these absences before they're becoming an actual issue. So that's something that, don't be alarmed if you're getting more letters or, phone calls from the school about your child's absences, even if they are excused, because the 10 absences are cumulative, so it can be unexcused or excused.
Is there a penalty for the parents for the kids having absences?
If those conferences are unsuccessful, if, removing the barriers are unsuccessful, there is a point where we could be contacting, like we notify Mr. Lindner, our superintendent, contacting children and youth, as well as filing a citation with the magistrate for truancy, yes.
I know in some other school districts, they have a fine.
Yes, that would be the citation that we would file.
Yeah.
So that's something that we're going to be moving forward with the school year.
Who's going to oversee this?
So the administration works as a team, along with Officer Reeves is going to be serving as our truancy officer, and we would work closely with the magistrate as well, and the families. So it's not going to be a surprise, like the families will have numerous opportunities and supports before it would come to that point. We're not just looking to find,
Well, yeah, I
some
understand
kids.
that.
Yeah.
And I think we've kind of, just because of COVID and other things that have happened, we kind of ignored some things. And some of the kids kind of figured, well, I don't really have to come. And some of the parents kind of let it go that way too.
That is correct, and that's kind of what pushed us in this direction. And, when we were looking at what the school code requires and what we had, they didn't align. So we work together so we can be consistent. It's the same in the elementary as the high school. So it won't be, oh, I didn't know that because it wasn't that way in the elementary school. It will be the same.
Yeah, I
I was
mean,
gonna ask, I'm guessing we have a plan to proactively highlight that change for parents? Like, I know it's gonna be in the handbook, but a letter or something like that?
Yeah, we've discussed having information sent home specifically on that, potentially a parent link. We were exploring options, but we're definitely going to notify families of that change.
Great, thank you.
yeah, that's kind of the holistic approach that we were talking about. When students miss too many days, it's not going to be a surprise because we're going to be communicating with the families, and that's part of what we said we would do, have more communication with the families. And if they're missing that instruction, that we're making that up. The students are more likely to miss school if they're having problems in school. And that, comes, it's kind of a double-edged sword. They miss days, well, maybe that's not appropriate, but they miss days, so they miss instructions, so they're behind. So when they come back, they're behind. So we're going to get them and keep them caught up, or that's our goal, is to get them and keep them caught up so that they'll want to come to school, or less likely to fight coming to school, I guess. So.
Well, and really it's a life skill.
Yeah.
You have to show up to school like you have to show up to work.
Showing up, that's what it's all about.
It's not just showing up, but.
I think it's in
That gives us a
That's the
step
start.
in the right direction.
That's where you start.
That's correct.
Yeah, and I think it's a necessary reset, like we had discussed, just getting people to refocus on the importance of being here, of attendance, of compulsory ed aid, and also just the piece of we're pulling into other programs to make school more interesting and kind of re-engage our staff and students to want to be here, post-pandemic, so.
The piece that I really like about what the principal said is coming up with attendance plans and attendance contracts for students that are struggling to provide some of those supports, because for some students there may either be some logistical, medical, mental health, some other concern that's preventing them from coming into school. And like everyone was mentioning, as students fall further behind, then the school anxiety pieces kind of ramp up because they know they're behind, and it's difficult to get students back in once they fall into that pattern. So I like that we'll have the opportunity to provide supports for students if they fall into that kind of category before we just jump right to, all right, well, we're going to find your parents then. So it sounds like, we have some good plans in place. And sometimes it's a matter of the they left for work and didn't realize their kids aren't going to school. So I know some districts, if a kid is absent, the parent either has to call in and say why they're not there, or the office calls home. What we're gonna be doing is if they have an unexcused absence, so they have 3 days to bring a note in, we will be making a phone call home then. Not once we're at 9 days, you got one more day, we're not calling that, we're calling at the beginning.
Great. It sounds like a great plan, and I appreciate all the work y'all put into it. I think we might be ready for that vote, Gabe.
Okay, good questions. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Item B, administration recommends approval of resolution 2022-3 PDE electronic signature authorization, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Item C, administration recommends approval of a 180-day/990-hour resolution allowing the district to count the days or hours that virtual instruction is provided to our students when they are at home due to pandemic emergency situations, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions?
This is a motion or a resolution that the board for this year has to pass. I imagine in a year or two they'll probably do away with it, but it allows us to count hours as well as days for instruction. So this is part of the health and safety plan, and it's part of one of the state acts and it's limited to pandemic. This isn't weather, this isn't any other thing, this is just pandemic. If the state should come down and close schools.
Okay. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Item D, is there updated language here? As my version says, the board may.
Yeah, since we placed Lance in the business manager position, traditionally this district has had the business manager as an assistant board secretary. So it would be up to a member of the board to nominate Lance as assistant board secretary.
So do I just say I nominate, or what is it?
You can make a motion for a
Yep.
nomination. So you could say you move for the nomination of Lance Mavis for assistant board secretary.
Alright, so I make a motion to nominate Lance Mavis as assistant board secretary for a term expiring June 30th, 2023.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
That is all for policy and procedure.
All right. Administration recommends approval of the list of parent drivers for 2022 and 2023 school year. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. The administration recommends approval of the list of school bus drivers and vehicle drivers for 2022 and 2023 school year. I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. If there's no questions on that, we'll move over to board reports. Mary Elise, you have anything?
Yeah, just quickly, we've been having curriculum work sessions. We did not do one this month since it's the summer. We'll work with administration to determine if we do one next month or if it makes sense to start those back up in September. So I'll reach out to administration and find out, and if we decide to do it, we'll advertise it as we've been doing, just to make sure everyone's aware. But that's it.
Awesome, thanks. Appreciate the time you guys are putting in outside of our committee and regular meetings. Anthony, do you have anything?
Congratulations to everybody that got moved around tonight. Congratulations. Regardless of how the voting went, I hope we succeed. So, good luck, and I'm behind you, and hopefully good things will happen with your success. So, congratulations. Glad to see our new AD here for the first time tonight. Congratulations. Awesome job by the Fbla students, and did you say it was Denise Amer that was?
She is the advisor for the club, yes.
And that had to be awesome for her to watch that take place. So congratulations to those four students.
She was watching virtually the whole time. And
Oh, what a shame.
yeah, she was a little upset that she wasn't there.
And other than that, awesome work on the fields and what's going on there. And thank you guys so much for your handbooks this month so we can look at it for next month. They do take time to really sit down and review them. So look forward to that from the AD with the coaches. We'll get there. And that's all.
Great. Joe?
The maintenance staff has been working hard to get the school ready for the school year. Some stuff has been mentioned before. If you notice the clocks in the auditorium here, Mr. McMahon, like I said, they're painting all over the place, brightening up the place, making it look a little different. Hopefully, people will start taking more pride in things. So, and our maintenance staff has been short for quite a while now, but they're putting in a lot of time and getting stuff done. All right, thank you.
Awesome, thanks, Joe. Crystal?
I have nothing.
Hal?
If you saw my report I sent out yesterday or this morning, I forget, Sullivan County's in the low COVID rate for the first time since I can remember. I hope it stays that way. My IU meeting, normally we don't have one in July, but we're going to have one July 27th, a special meeting on that night. And that's it.
Okay, thank you. Heather?
I agree with what Anthony and Joe said. Congratulations, you guys. Good job on all the extra work that you guys have been putting in. And as our culture is changing here in the school and becoming more friendly towards feedback, I'm hoping a lot of parents start getting involved this school year and start filling these seats up with ideas and ways that we can improve. And that's it.
Thanks, Heather. Aaron's not here. Shelley had to drop. Yeah, myself, I want to echo, congratulations to all the team members that got moved into new positions. I think we're moving the needle for sure and made a lot of changes, making some strides with the district. So I know that there's a lot of work to do, but I think it feels like we're making a difference. I did want to bring up one thing that I forgot earlier. We had a gentleman from the game commission that came in and spoke to us about the archery program that was offered. Don't necessarily think we need answers right now or dive into the conversation, but could we note that to circle back and see what our thoughts are? I have not followed up with them, but I know that they did follow up with us in the meantime to see if there was anything they could do. I think it's potential that it would be a good program for the school, and I didn't sense any hesitation when we were talking about it earlier, but it might be something good to resurface and maybe get moving before the school year starts with some type of commitments to them.
I know I did check with one of the physical education teachers, and he had said that they were supposed to receive training at some point, and something happened and they did not. So he seemed interested in the opportunity as well.
I think the one couldn't be there and only one got the training at that point in time, if I remember right.
If I
And
recall,
both
because
of
we
them had to
talked
do
about it
it.
shortly after we had discussed it before, he didn't think either of them did, but I will revisit it and look into that.
But it's definitely something we're interested in
Yes.
implementing, so we will get on that.
Awesome, thanks. And congrats to the 4 students, and that's a big success, so it's pretty awesome to be part of it. That's all I have. You guys, if you have nothing else, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, we're adjourned. Thanks, everybody.
May I have Anthony and Kristen?